What's going on, guys? So it is an absolutely insanely beautiful day outside today. Not a cloud in the sky. It's about 65 degrees, about 5-mile-an-hour winds, and it is beautiful. That said, today is kind of an interesting announcement. So you've probably seen some of the videos I've done with my father on his Thor Class C motorhome. Well, that motorhome is gone, and now he has a Forest River Georgetown Class A gas. So this has the Ford V10 inside of it. This is his new to him motorhome. It is a pre-owned motorhome, and it's actually a bit older than the Class C that he had, but boy, does it look a lot nicer. We have Dad on the roof working on some solar stuff today. I just helped him with the excavator so we could actually lift the giant 400-watt solar panel on the roof. I think it's 400, might be 200, but he's adding the sealant, getting it secured, and I'm filming his RV while he's doing it. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so in front of you, you were looking at my father's new to him 2014 Forest River Georgetown Class A gas V10 motorhome. This is, again, it's about 5 years older than the Thor that he traded in for it, but there's a lot of reasons that he wanted to go to this. The Class C that he had was definitely a nice motorhome, but for traveling around the country, they found it a little bit cramped. It wasn't the ideal floor plan for them, and they came across this, and this was a good opportunity for them to get into something bigger, more their style. It's not a diesel pusher, but, you know, my father's ideal diesel pusher would be something about this size or maybe even a little smaller that's actually a diesel pusher, but you really don't see those. Typically, if you want to get something around this size or smaller, you're going to be looking at a Super C, which is essentially like an F550 or a Ram 5500 or the General Motors front medium-duty chassis with the diesel in it, and that's not what they were looking for. But he came across this one in really great shape, especially for the year that it is, and considering it only has like 15,000 miles on it. So the previous owner definitely didn't use this a ton, but they did some upgrades to it, and they definitely took pretty good care of it. So let's take a quick tour, and this is the 328 Georgetown by Forest River. It rides on 19.5-inch steel wheels with wheel covers. One of the first upgrades he did to it was to put the new RV lock on here, which is slightly different than the one that we recently put on his Class C. So he actually returned that one to me. It has a total of 3 slides, one here, and then also one on the other side for the sofa. It has a little pop-up entertainment area with a TV, some speakers outside, and your stereo controls. All right, stepping inside. The one thing that has not worn well over time with this unit is this kind of pleather material that they use. For being, you know, roughly 11 years old and only having 14,000 miles on it, I'm really disappointed with how this material's held up. So he's already ordered some replacement seat covers, which he found a company that actually makes the exact replica of the seat covers, but in a higher quality material, hopefully. That said, the seats are actually insanely comfortable. I was really shocked by how comfortable these seats are, especially if you saw the previous video we did on his Class C where he swapped the Ford seats out inside of the front cutaway van portion and put in some aftermarket seats. These seats are significantly more comfortable than even the aftermarket seats he put in. They are super plush, but again, the material on the outside definitely leaves a lot to be desired. I would almost prefer that they don't even use this outside material that flakes off and just stick with the inside material, but I don't know. I know a lot of people struggle with this problem as well, but if you have a similar RV or a motorhome, let me know how your fake leather seats have been holding up over time. And when you look at the dash area, you can see all analog dashes. A lot of this stuff right here is the stock Ford stuff that you're going to get on this chassis before they start building around it. A lot of room up here, tons of width. You have tons of width up here, just huge amount of space. This was a big perk for them. They can swivel the seats around and use them as living room furniture as well, but easy, clear path to get to your seats. You have a bit of an engine hump right here because the engine is right underneath this area. Huge window, typical of Class A's, right? You got a lot of visibility, but one thing that's interesting is when I do motorhome reviews, which I don't do a tremendous number of them, but when I do, You know, you see the big windshield, but I feel as if the cockpit area is closer to the windshield. I feel as if you're sitting about 2 feet closer, which gives you a ton of visibility over the front hood area, or over the front, I guess, dash area. Now, this is kind of interesting because you still get a tremendous amount of visibility in this that you're not going to get on a Class C. But again, I kind of feel that when you're in a diesel pusher, that everything is moved even further up and you can really see over the hood, at least the ones that I've been in. But it's a very, very functional interior, and having that huge piece of glass up front is really, really great, especially if you want a lot of visibility. My big fear, of course, with this is that you get a crack in the windshield. That is not going to be a cheap windshield to fix. All the slides are in, and it is pretty dang cool that you have full access all the way to the back of the RV, even considering everything is currently closed up right now. Okay, so we have all the slides pushed out, and I can tell you it's a pretty good size open space. I mean, this is pretty cool. I can tell you a few things that are also a little interesting to me. I know this was kind of the era before LED lights were super popular, but there's a single light switch right here that turns on all the lights in the living room and kitchen. But to turn on the lights in the bedroom, you have to physically hit the switch up top. And that's kind of odd to me. I figured that there would probably be a wall switch somewhere to control those. Maybe there was at one point, but there's not right now. I definitely recommend to him to swap these bulbs out with LED bulbs, or to even change these fixtures out to LED fixtures, because I think it would just give you just an overall better amount of light in here. But what do you guys think? So he says he already has the dinette table ordered. The legs are actually in this box right here, so he'll have a new table right here very soon. Definitely a tremendous amount of space in here once you open the slides up. Now, the refrigerator takes up kind of a weird spot in the hallway. It's still definitely functional. You can still get to everything, but if you have a door open, you're not going to be able to cross to get into this space over here. Has a good sized bathroom, nice cornered shower. It's a solid one-piece shower, and it has a cool little access hatch right there to do any type of maintenance. Porcelain foot flush toilet, nice stainless steel single basin sink. This is a Formica style countertop, so it's not thermofoil, which is nice, and it's a much thicker material. This is actually a really durable material, but you can see after heat gets to it for a while, you'll start getting these areas that kind of pull apart, and that's very, very common with this type of material, unfortunately. A lot of countertop, cabinet, and shelving space up here as well. Stepping back this way, this is where you have your spot for a washer and dryer combo unit. One thing on this unit that definitely makes it feel like more of a premium unit is the fact that you get pull-out drawers. So these are really, really nice solid pull-out drawers. And again, something you typically don't see on lower-end units. And that's one of the reasons why the Georgetown is definitely considered to be more of a mid-tier gas Class A. When it comes to diesel pushers, that's where things can get super, super crazy in terms of the interior. You have your command center right here. Gives you all your controls for everything. Here are your 3 slide outs. Again, all cable-driven slides. You have your closet space over here. You have a nice little window ledge right here as well, plus drawers underneath. The bed, once it comes in, kind of tucks itself underneath this area also. Everything is actually in really good shape in here. You know, for a unit that's 11 years old, I can definitely say this is pretty nice. I'm not seeing a lot of things that glaringly stand out, except for the condition of the driver passenger seat and the sofa with the material just kind of coming apart. And I think, honestly, that's probably from the fact that this, I'm assuming, sat in storage for quite a while, or in somebody's driveway. To have such low mileage over such a period of time, to me, would make me think that this wasn't air conditioned inside, or it wasn't kept climate controlled and humidity got to things. Again, I would change all these lights out with LED lights. It's got 2 AC units. This is not a padded ceiling either. It kind of looks like one, but it's not a padded ceiling. You have a sliding door right here that closes over this space. There's storage underneath the bed, but it's also underneath the floor. So you have this large pass-through storage underneath the floor as well. But this is a really cool interior. You can see where some LED lights have definitely been introduced, but I would recommend replacing all of these with LED lights. I think it would just look a lot nicer and give you a lot cleaner light. Magic Chef residential microwave. This is a standard residential microwave, not a convection. You have a 3-burner cooktop underneath this solid surface material. I love the fact that they're actually using real solid material here. This is not a wrapped material. It's not thermofoil. And again, another sign that you have a slightly premium unit over a lot of other Class A's that might be less expensive. This is definitely one of those areas that you can easily see when a manufacturer is trying to cut cost everywhere. So if you're looking at a motorhome, whether it's a Class A or Class C or a Class B, and you see thermofoil or Formica, basically a fake kind of countertop that's wrapped with the material to make it look like a stone, that's one of the things that you can instantly see where they're trying to cut cost and you're going to be getting a cheaper unit or possibly a less reliable unit. If they cut cost there, where else are they cutting cost? All the drawers are nice roller drawers, but they are not soft closing drawers. I think that's probably something my dad's going to put in because he did that on his Class C. Got areas to hang some stuff. This has a cool feature right here, which has an auto generator start. From what I'm aware of, this specific system can auto start the generator if it detects a draw from the power system that is in excess of what the power system can power, or even if you're trying to turn something on that requires the generator, it can actually start the generator up for it. One thing I am noticing from a wear and tear perspective is the wrapping around this area is definitely starting to delaminate. And this is that wrapping material I'm talking about. This is when you don't use solid wood, but this also looks like a repair job because I can see where there's patches here as well, and you can actually see the original color wood underneath it. So there was probably some repair work that was done here, and they simply bought some adhesive kind of wood match material to cover it. Okay, so my dad hopped in and he gave me a little bit more information about this auto generator start system. Dad, you want to talk about it real quick, what you've learned?
Just that it has been added by a previous owner apparently, but what it does is it monitors the voltage of the house batteries and it monitors the temperature inside. And what it'll do is if the house batteries drop below a set voltage of, it defaults to 12 volts, or excuse me, 11 volts, it'll start the generator and charge the batteries back up. Or if the house temperature gets too high and maybe you have pets and you're not here, it'll start the generator and run the air conditioner until the temperature inside has come down to where you set it.
Okay, that's a pretty cool feature. So again, it auto starts the generator to charge the battery if the voltage drops below 11 volts. And if the temperature gets too high, I can see the start temperature right there, starting voltage. You can even have a timer set for it and a quiet time on here, as well as how long you want it to run. And it can start up the generator to power the AC if it needs to, as well as charge the batteries. That's really cool. What size generator's in this?
It's a 5500.
Okay, is it an Onan?
Yes.
Okay, does it run off of propane or gasoline?
Gas.
I'm sure, does it share the same tank as the gas?
Yes.
Okay, so it runs off of the main tank.
It's an 80-gallon tank, so it'll run for quite a while.
Okay, all right, thank you. So my father was also telling me specifically that because this is a counter depth Frigidaire refrigerator, that if you take the doors off, they made the entry door large enough that you can actually fit the body of the refrigerator through the door. And he actually saw a YouTube video where somebody did that. So that is good to know, and that is one thing that definitely can alleviate a lot of stress if you're dealing with refrigerator issues and you have to swap the refrigerator out or remove it for whatever reason. It also looks up here too as if this material, yeah, this material's also been changed out or been covered and wrapped with kind of that faux wood material as well. Are you planning on probably replacing this or doing something about that?
Well, to be honest, that panel gives access to the cables for the slides. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that at one time they probably had both of them off to adjust the cable tensions, because that's where the cable adjustments are behind those panels. I haven't yet looked into how hard it is to get them on or off. I see the peeling faux wood. I don't want to do anything until I figure out how hard it is to get that off, if I need to adjust the cable.
Usually it's just a vanity panel that covers up all of the cabling and the motor up there.
But I don't know how to get it off either.
Yeah. Well, that's a future project, I'm sure. I'm sure probably one of your soon-to-do projects is to replace all these lights with LED lights.
Oh, yeah. I think the bright one is LEDs.
It is.
These will be shortly.
Okay.
But I haven't got it. I haven't ordered the lights yet. I'm still working on the table. Will be here tomorrow, And we're just going to have 2 chairs and a dining table. We're not going to go with a full booth like it had before.
And real quick, you want to talk about what you did from a solar perspective. So I see the Renogy MPPT solar charge controller that you have in here. Was it a 200 watt or a 400 watt panel on the roof?
On the roof is a 200 watt.
Okay. And then you have that ran down directly into the house batteries down here.
Yes, the house batteries are directly below that box. And it seems to be working just fine.
Okay. It does have auto leveling on it.
Yes.
So that was a big part that his Class C did not have. And
seat covers will be here in the next week.
And they're a perfect match for these, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, there's his auto leveling controls here. Again, this is built off of a Ford Cutaway chassis. So there's pretty much just nothing here. They have to build all of this around the Ford components here. But you back up. Do you also have side view cameras on here as well?
Yes.
So it came with side view cameras. Comes with pretty much all the same stuff you're still going to get in these nowadays. I don't even think that they've really gone away from the analog gauge cluster, even on the newest version of the Georgetown, because I've reviewed some of those. But I'm assuming that one of the big reasons to go to this versus a Class C is the fact that you have all this space up here, right?
Exactly. That's something that the wife was really missing, was the ability to get out of her chair easily while we're on the road. Yeah. And both these rotate.
So let's talk about your trip. Maiden voyage on this thing. Where are you going, and how long is your trip going to be?
We're going to be leaving in about a month, heading to all the national parks in Utah. We're traveling with some friends in their motorhome, and we'll be gone probably 3 to 4 weeks. At least. Okay.
Real quick, let's take a look at some of the numbers. It's cool that they put the stickers in here. So this has a GVWR of 20,500 pounds. It has a 7,500 pound axle up front and a 13,500 pound axle in the back. Rides on 245/70 19.5 tires and has a cargo carrying capacity of 3,336 pounds. So, yeah, I don't think you have to worry about overloading this thing. But, yeah, this is going to be cool. I really appreciate it, Dad. And look forward to doing more upgrades to this thing and getting this thing ready for additional trips, or even this trip, because they're not going to be leaving for another month. So I'm sure my dad has a bucket list of items he wants to put on here. Anyways, sure hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.